Do you feel it, folks? It is quiet out there. Too quiet. Honestly, there's so much stuff on the edge of falling down the cliff. We got some shoes waiting to drop. Let's just keep throwing out the analogies, right? There's a lot of stuff on the verge of becoming a major, major crisis. And we're just kind of waiting for which one of them is going to drop first. I'm going to walk you through 5 things that I see right on the horizon. One of these nobody's talking about whatsoever because I just kind of saw it. And it's a unique take right there. We got some other things that people are seeing pretty readily, but we're going to discuss them anyway. Let's start off with the most obvious, World War III. And we got Ukraine invading Russia, which invading a nuclear superpower is just... It seems like a good idea at the time, right? Until suddenly the entire, sky lights up on fire, all right? This is have we been ever closer to nuclear war? Belarus has mobilized its military up against the Ukrainian border. Things are tense, friends. Things are very tense. And then you go over to Israel, where they're waiting to get punched in the face by Iran. And Israel's kind of like, maybe we're not going to wait to get punched in the face. We're just going to attack again. If you didn't take your turn, we're just going to take your turn for you, like in a board game, right? It's just Israel has retaliated for the missile attacks in northern Israel, and they're going to now retaliate for the attacks that haven't happened or something. We got the settlers firebombing stuff in the West Bank. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. Honestly, I haven't really dug into it. And with these type of things, it's, he said, she said, and it's, how do you even know? How do you even know in a conflict who's right and who's wrong? I mean, generally speaking, I think Israel's on the, they try to limit civilian casualties, whereas the other side doesn't at all. Okay, so, and they're an ally to the United States. They generally have a systematic representative government. So generally speaking, I think Israel's kind of on the plus side. And as a Christian, I like to be on the side of Israel anyway, because of the promises that God's made to the nation of Israel anyway. But that's all just waiting to blow up. The United States has been sending all the available warships to that area. Why? Why do you think? Why do you think? If that's where all the warships are going, that should tell you where the most likely place for World War III to break out is. And yeah, we're all just kind of waiting for that whole area of the world to just explode. But it might be the Ukrainian-Russian border that explodes. Who knows? And who knows what China may do while nobody's looking. So, number 1, World War III. Let's jump to my more unique one here. The thumbnail that I put up on this video was designed by Grok 2, which is the AI. I know, it's done by, it's an image, okay, folks? It's a picture that they made up, right? But the AI, Grok 2, just dropped on X, or formerly known as Twitter, and it can make images. So you may see some more images coming from me on the thumbnails, because it's, if you're already paying for subscription for X, which I am, you get this for free. And you're like, well, I don't care. Here's why you should care. The stock market is like way up for one pretty big reason, which is called AI. Now, all these AI things out there are like, we're going to sell you this service, this AI service. It's going to replace your workers and this kind of that and that. And then Elon Musk comes wandering in and it's just like, hey, if you're already giving me a couple of bucks a month, like, how about you have free AI? Stuff that other services are charging like tons of money for. So basically, Elon Musk has walked in the room of AI and done basically what he did to SpaceX to the space launch system. He's like, we can make it super cheap. This is easy. We'll make it like super cheap for everybody. And right now, I'm telling you, all the AI companies out there charging $50+ a month to do stuff that Elon Musk just made like basically free for everyone who's already subscribed to the X accounts. It's just like their whole business model just went kablooey. And it's clear that Elon Musk continues to plan to do this. Remember, he actually designed PayPal. So the idea that he's going to come out with a payment service soon on that, it's probably pretty... I know some of you guys are like, he's the Antichrist, or he's definitely in it with the globalists. He seems to be kind of on our team for now. He seems to be on our team. He seems to be on the side of freedom, and he has enough money that he just doesn't really care anymore, and he can just do whatever he wants. And so people like that, if you just listen to them, they'll just tell you who they are. I mean, you listen to Bill Gates, he'll tell you who he is. I mean, you gotta listen to all of the stuff he says, right? But Elon Musk, he's telling everyone, this is what I believe in. I want to get us to Mars so that if something happens to Earth, humanity doesn't end. I mean, that's what he's doing, right? Anyway, so this has just endangered the stock market, like big time. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars worth of value have been added to the stock market on the basis that AI is going to change the world. And then Elon Musk is basically handing out for free and chump change. You see how that's going to maybe mess and blow up some companies? Yeah, nobody's seeing that right now. But when they start figuring that out, stock market, boom. Not to mention the fact that everybody's losing their jobs, nobody's employed, and the economy is way, way worse than what they're letting on. Anyway, that's all free. Number 3, the election. The election is about to start heating up. I was just out driving yesterday, and you know what I saw? I saw a house with a bunch of Trump Vance yard signs. So apparently the yard signs are coming in now. What do you think is going to happen when people start putting out Trump Vance yard signs? And I don't think all that much is going to happen when people put out the Harris, whoever she's running with, Walls. Who cares anymore, right? I don't see conservatives going and ripping them out of yards or attacking people's houses or cars because they don't like their yard signs. Conservatives and libertarians just generally don't do that. But on the other side of things, in order to protect democracy, we have these loonies breaking into Trump headquarters, campaign headquarters. Yeah, already doing that. We got them trying to kill our presidential nominee. We see that they absolutely are not above attacking, accosting people in public. Yeah, what do you think is going to happen when they suddenly start seeing all these yard signs? They're going to lose their minds. These people who cannot fathom anyone supporting Donald Trump. And half the country is going to put up yard signs. You think that's going to trigger them? There's not going to be a safe space big enough for them, okay? This is going to cause problems. And friends, if you put out yard signs, especially if you're in certain areas where that's not popular, you need to be prepared for vandalism and potentially physical attacks on your person. This is a reality. Friends, be prepared to be safe, right? I'm not saying don't put out the signs. I'm saying put up security cameras. I'm saying be aware when you go out in your driveway if somebody's going to attack you with a baseball bat. Okay? Because that's what these people do. That's what these people do. 4, food. Food is going to blow up. And we track the minutia, food shortages and bad harvests and stuff like that here. in the off season until the next food crisis comes. Well, the next food crisis looks like it is on the horizon. And what we're going to see more than anything is we're going to see a transportation issue. We're going to see a transportation issue and the outlawing, banning of food. We're going to see it hit in beef. Bad. It's going to come bad in beef. So hopefully you like eating insects, because that's what you're going to get. Chickens are under attack already. Eggs under attack. Yeah, friends, food is going to be a major shoe that's going to drop. I mean, just is. Major crises around the world. World War III will cause a food shortage. Whenever a lot of the farmers go in to go fight, less food gets produced. Whenever there's any major disruptions in the markets, food disappears. Whenever there's kind of any bit of panic, everybody runs to the store and grabs all the ramen noodles that they can carry. That's just the stupid thing that Americans do, right? Other countries, it's probably something else other than the ramen noodles. But in the United States, it's the ramen noodles. If you want to know when things are about to go sideways, if you walk into a Walmart and you start seeing pallets of ramen noodles appear in the aisles, you know you're in for a storm. Snowstorms incoming, hurricanes incoming, or something is happening that you may not be aware of yet. But Walmart sees it coming and starts putting out the pallets of ramen noodles. Every time I see that, friends, I start getting a little a tingle in my back, right? My spidey sense starts going off. And believe me, I remember seeing that back in the cough, just before the cough, lockdowns came and everything like that. They put out the pallets of ramen noodles. I saw that and I was there like, I'm glad I shopped last week, because that's what I did. I shopped a week or 2 weeks before, and I filled up my cart with canned goods like nobody's business. As I was talking to somebody, my family member, and I said, I'm at the store doing what everyone's going to do next week. So I've been ahead of the curve, and we as a community have been ahead of the curve. But let's just say, looking over the horizon, I think Walmart's going to start figuring it out in the next little bit that food is going to come under attack again. Number 5, energy. Electricity, heat, fuel, all this stuff. There is the war on energy. And we have considerable increase in usage. How many millions of people have come into the country and they're using electricity? And yet they're not building any new power plants. They're tearing down powerful power plants and they're replacing them with little weenie power plants that can't pump out as much juice. They keep planning like this, going, there's so much buffer in the system. And so they keep banking on that as they make stupid choices. They're shutting down, trillion watt hour facilities, or trillion watt facilities, and they're replacing them with 2 or 300 billion watt facilities. They're just not capable of producing the same amount of power. And when they're replacing them with solar panels, which don't work half the day or more than half the day, there's a big problem here, because a coal-fired power plant that operates whenever you need it is different fundamentally than solar panels. I don't care if the wattage is still the same. The capacity for the solar panels doesn't go up or down when you need it. It goes up or down when the sun's shining, or when there's no clouds, when there's no, trails overhead, or when there's no wildfire smoke. That's impacting solar. Like, the grid is being impacted by the smoke coming from Canada's wildfires, from their mismanaged forests. You think there's nothing going to happen this winter? We just had New Orleans is under a boil advisory because a Mylar balloon shorted out some power lines, and it knocked out a pumping station, and the pumping station lost pressure, and bad stuff got into the water lines, and everyone has a boil advisory for a week or so or something like that, right? That was an unintentional, somebody had a balloon. What happens when people start trying to do stuff? And Lord knows we have a lot of people in the United States that don't like the United States. What would half the country do? Well, 30% of the country do if the wrong person gets elected. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to just move to Canada? No. They're going to try doing as much damage as possible. They got the deep state on their side. They're used to getting away scot-free of every stupid thing that they've ever done. They're gluing themselves to the freeways. They're going on protests, and they never get more than a slap on the wrist. And that's not even talking about the actual enemies of the United States that have come into the United States for the purpose of attacking us. The Chinese operatives, the Iranian operatives, the Russian operatives here. And if you think that they aren't here, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Anyone who wants to can walk across the southern border. And if you want to, you can turn yourself in to the Border Patrol so that you can get your freebie benefits. There's a whole bunch of people that avoid the Border Patrol and don't get their legal status, don't get their work permits, don't get all the freebies, the free cell phones, the free money, the free rides. Why would they not want that free stuff? That should deeply trouble you. When we have hundreds of thousands of people coming across the border that are refusing the freebies, why would they want to avoid any form of documentation? Maybe they have malicious intent. Some of them do. We see that they're affiliated with gangs from other countries, cartels. We have all sorts of crazy people coming into the United States. And the ones that don't even want to get caught and get all the free stuff, those are the ones that concern me the most. Our energy, our power systems in the United States, if we have a winter storm like it did down in Texas and our grid comes down, or if some people give it a shove, what will happen to a lot of people in the United States? Now, if you're down south and it's always warm down there, kudos to you. You know, if you get freezing cold when it gets down to 60, we're not talking about you. We're talking about where it snows, where people actually can perish from the cold, right? The Midwest goes down all the way down to Texas because it can get awfully cold in Texas sometimes, right? Not too often, but sometimes it can. And on up north where it gets really downright cold. I'm concerned about this winter, and friends, you'd be wise to get stocked up for this winter. Have some emergency propane, be thinking those things through. Get to yard sales, get to flea markets, and get you blankets. You can never have too many blankets. That's just the fact of the matter. Because a blanket, as long as you don't let moths and whatever eat it up, you will have that blanket for forever. And it will produce warmth and heat for you and your family for generations to come. Blankets, get them anytime you can. You get good wool blankets, grab them. They're kind of costly to buy new, but you can get surplus ones sometimes cheap. You can buy them off people who just are trying to clean out their house, right? There's lots of opportunities to get some heavy clothing, some good blankets. This summertime is perfect for that. You can even get heaters. You can get your propane tanks filled up. You can get empty propane tanks to exchange for full propane tanks, right? So it doesn't matter how dinged up they are. Lots of good things that you can do right now. You can get, if you're like me and you don't split all your own wood, you can get piles of firewood. You can get cords of firewood delivered to your house right now. Not a problem. You can get coal delivered to your home. If you think ahead, you can get those things at a pretty good rate right about now. All right, friends, hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on these things. We're waiting for the next shoe to drop, but hopefully you're taking this time to prepare. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.